You see a trailer for some huge new blockbuster epic, but what if I told you that story is almost 3,000 years old? Well, that's the incredible power of the tale we're exploring today, one of the absolute cornerstones of all literature, Homer's Odyssey. And boom, right away, this simple, powerful exchange just cuts right to the very heart of the story. It sets the emotional stakes perfectly. See, this isn't just about a physical journey. It's about a deeply personal promise to return and that terrifying possibility that you might not make it. So, to really get this epic journey home, we first have to understand where our hero is coming from. And the interesting thing is, the story doesn't start with him leaving. It actually begins at the very end of a long, brutal war. This line right here introduces us to our hero, Odysseus, the king of Ithaca. And you can just feel his singular focus. After a whole decade fighting in the Trojan War, he has one goal and one goal only. As he says, nothing is supposed to stand between him and home. He's a warrior, a general, a king, sure, but at his core, he's just a man who desperately wants to get back to his family. But just how long was he away? Get ready for this number because it is just staggering. 20 years. 10 years fighting at Troy, and then another 10 years just trying to get back. I mean, an entire generation has grown up without him. The scale of his absence is immense. So you see, the war itself, that was only half the story. For Odysseus, the journey home turned out to be even more dangerous and deadly. It was a 10-year detour that would, well, become the stuff of legend. And here are just a few of the impossible challenges he faced. First, he has to outsmart and blind a giant one-eyed cyclops. Then, he has to resist the fatal, hypnotizing song of the sirens by literally having his crew tie him to the mast. And if that's not enough, he then has to navigate his ship through a narrow strait with a six-headed sea monster on one side and a deadly whirlpool on the other. Each obstacle tested not just his strength, but his famous cunning. So what was the driving force behind all this incredible endurance? Well, the ancient Greeks had a specific word for it, nostos. And it's so much more than just homecoming. It's this deep, painful longing for home, this idea of a high-stakes journey across the sea that promises the greatest reward imaginable. This concept, nostos, is the very engine of the entire epic. After a decade battling gods and monsters, Odysseus finally sets foot on his home island of Ithaca. But you know what? His journey is far from over. In fact, you could say the final, most personal battle is just about to begin. He returns to find an absolutely impossible situation. On the one hand, you've got his kingdom of Ithaca, and it's in total chaos. It's been overrun by arrogant nobles trying to force his wife, Penelope, to marry one of them and claim his throne. And on the other hand, there's Odysseus himself, not a king returning in glory, but a beggar in disguise, unrecognized, outnumbered, and forced to plot in secret. And this is the ultimate irony, isn't it? His epic voyage isn't truly over until he faces this final challenge. He has to fight one last battle, not against a mythical beast on some distant island, but against intruders in his own home, to win back everything he has lost. So that brings us to the big question. This is an ancient story, passed down for millennia. Why are we still telling it? Why does it continue to inspire new films and capture our imagination today? The answer, I think, lies in themes that are just as powerful today as they were 3,000 years ago. It's about that fundamental human struggle to find our way home. It's a story of perseverance when all hope seems lost, and a story about a loyalty tested over 2 decades. It explores that temptation to give up that we all face, and ultimately, it forces us to ask, what truly makes someone a hero? After all the gods, the monsters, and the battles, the entire epic really boils down to that one central idea. The story's true, enduring power is how it leaves us to reflect on our own lives, asking that simple, profound question, what does home mean to you?
To watch this beautiful film in its entirety, you can visit the company's official YouTube channel, any movie theater, or the company's website.